Now, here's a story I want you, whether you're in sales or not in sales, heck, if you're just in life, which we all are, you will like this story. So there was this Arabian Night. This Arabian Night was going through the desert one night. It was dark and he was lost. It was cold. He just wanted to get back to his tent. He had no clue where he was, again, on his horse riding through the desert. It was so dark he could not even see the hand in front of his face. Well, in that massive desert, this big booming voice comes down from above. This big booming voice comes down and it says, "Knight, get off your horse." The knight, of course, was really confused at first. Booming voice comes back down from above and says, "Knight, get off your horse." The knight says, "What do you mean, get off the horse? I can't see it. Why should I get off the horse?" This big booming voice comes down again and says, "Knight, get off your horse and pick up the pebbles around you." The knight says, "What the heck do you mean by that? Pick up the pebbles around me? I can't see anything. Why?" The booming voice from above comes back down and says, "Knight, get off the horse and pick up the pebbles around you. And if you do this, knight, I will promise you two different things. I'll make two promises to you. The first one, knight, is if you get off the horse and pick up the pebbles around you, that when daybreak comes, you're going to be happy that you listened to me. You're going to be happy." Knight's like, "All right, I like that. But the second promise I will make to you, knight, is this. If you get off your horse and pick up the pebbles around you, I also have to just make you aware that when daybreak comes, there's also going to be an element of sadness that's going to come over you as well. But regardless, get off the horse and pick up the pebbles around you." The knight says, "I have no clue what that means, but it's a voice from above and I better listen to it." So the knight stumbles off his horse in the darkness, stumbles around, picks up 3 pebbles. He couldn't see, he just felt them. Picks up 3 pebbles, throws them in the pouch that's alongside the horse there, and says, "There, are you happy?" Voice from above went away. Voice from above apparently was happy. The knight gets on his horse, and later that night, the horse found its way back to the tent, so they go to sleep. Daybreak comes. Daybreak comes, and he opens his eyes. Now, if you were that knight and just opened your eyes and just had a night like the night that knight just had, what would be the first thing to enter your mind? Is what the heck is in that pouch over there, right? What's so important in that pouch? So he runs over the pouch, pulls out these pebbles. He's looking at these pebbles, but as he's looking at those pebbles, he realizes something. He realizes that those pebbles were not pebbles. They were precious jewels worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. At that point in time, what about the voice from above the night before? 2 promises, right? Did the first promise come true that when daybreak came, that knight was happy at that point in time? Absolutely. He was a multi-gazillionaire at that point in time, right? You bet he was happy. What about that second promise? Do you think there was that element of sadness that came over him as well when daybreak came? Absolutely. That night was standing in acres and acres and acres of diamonds. He picked up 3 of them. Idiot, right? What is my point to this whole story? My point is when you work with life insurance, when you work with investments, when you work with annuities and life insurance, many people don't like to talk, and this is not a life insurance pitch. This is just my example of how I massage this into my stories, right? Many times life insurance, it's a tough process. It's talking about health. It's talking about dying. But I will tell you that when daybreak comes, heaven forbid should daybreak ever come, and that beneficiary check needs to be delivered to the beneficiaries, those beneficiaries do not put that beneficiary check much lower on the hierarchy of important things than precious jewels, right? Today it may seem like pebbles, but in the future, heaven forbid should daybreak ever come, today they may be pebbles, but in the future, heaven forbid should daybreak ever come, they turn into precious jewels, right? Think of you in your sales role if you have a sales. Think of you in life. The parallels with life are obvious, right? But in your sales role, do you have a deal that your customers are passing up, and eventually they're going to realize that it was too good to be, that they passed up a good deal. But at that point in time when they realize it, they can't go back and get the deal. Like the knight, when he realized that he was standing in acres of diamonds, he can't go back and get that, right? Do you have that situation where consumers are just not listening to you and they are going to pass by an opportunity that they may never get again? If so, tell them that story. Hope you enjoyed it.